Honestly, there are a lot of things that I should be doing right now, and some people might wonder, why are you firing up the camera right now? Let's get into the stuff that I should probably be doing. I should probably catch up on my criminal justice notes right now. I should probably focus on a project that I have due in about a month. I should focus on the exams that I've got to worry about because there's the potential for me to just forget everything that I have built up on over the course of the past semester, or over the course of this semester, I should say. And I should focus more on the future of my finances, my car, and a bunch of other stuff. But I am firing up the camera so that I can, at least metaphorically, blow out my candles. Yeah, I'm 21 now. It's been a long journey, and it's been a very long year since I've had my birthday last year. And it's kind of funny in a way because it's kind of like, oh, it's expected. A year is a long time. But saying that is a huge disservice as to what exactly has been happening over the course of this past year. The ups and downs that I've had, all the game changing aspects of it, and a lot of things that have been considerably high boosts. So I figured that I would just fire this up and not just celebrate my birthday like the self entitled prick that I am, but also go over the things that were my highest highs and my lowest lows. Because I think it would be very special for me to over that kind of stuff as I go over being 21. So let's get started on the thing that happened immediately after my birthday. And coincidentally, it was the shittiest event in my entire life. That was a huge social break, like a huge social crack that happened. And I'm not going to say that it was something that was unjustified because it was. I am, at least I would hope, to be a much more different person than I was last year because there were a lot of things that I did, a lot of mannerisms that I had, but that I wasn't proud of. And even still to this day, that kind of stuff still hits. There's a certain drawing that I made that is directly referencing this. You might find it on my page, or I'll just pull it up. But it was a very tough year because of that. I was back to being a recluse because before that point, I was on a social high, per se. I was very out there. I was very active. I was just proud, generally speaking. I was a very proud person. But come to this turn of events, and it turned out that there were a lot of things I needed to fix about myself. And the difficult part about self-reflection and self-repair is that there's this inevitable bias that comes with this kind of stuff. So you can never really say that you fixed yourself without sounding sincere because you're the only person that has witnessed all that. And I genuinely believe that the people that were affected by your actions need to stick around to say that you've changed because they're the ones that would know. And it was very difficult for me to understand if I was or if I wasn't. And because of that, I was very reclusive. I was not looking forward to the next semester, and I was wondering where my life was going to go next because everything was just fog around me. And it was something that I couldn't focus. I completely blew my grades over the course of over that final stretch in the semester, and it really shouldn't have been the case, but it was a pretty self-destructive downfall. Come the next semester, I was, again, very quiet. It was very difficult for me to just look forward to class, but at least there were a couple of people that I was acquaintances with. I do mean acquaintances because I was never really close to them, but still we respected each other and we tried to at least be social to each other at the time. And I could still probably text them or something, and it was nice to experience that stuff again. But even still, it was just being a general slouch. Come April, my old car breaks down in the middle of the highway, so that's another 3 hour stretch that I had to deal with because Before, there was a time where I got stuck on the highway because of a flat tire. That time, or the most recent time, the engine stopped after 200,000 miles traveled. So that meant that the car was on its last legs, basically. And what I needed to do immediately was I had to find transportation of some sort. And it was tough because I wasn't aware of what was going to happen next. Part of me was certain that this would get fixed and addressed quick, but part of me was also on the weary side, like, what if things don't work out? And come to, the eclipse happens, and we're on the search of a car in the process. The eclipse, again, was very awesome. I think I discussed this prior, but it was very nice to witness, and also the eclipse is also a very significant symbol in my life now because that same day I got the car that I have now. Thanks to the courtesy of the dealer because we had exactly enough to get it in cash. And it was very surprising and it was very down to the wire too. It wasn't anything easy. Come summer, I do the thing that I didn't expect to ever happen, which was hang out more with my coworkers than anybody in college, which used to be the opposite because, of course, again, social highs. And it was around that point that I was starting to loosen up, so to speak. I was starting to loosen up socially, and I was starting to stray away from the pain that I had almost exactly a year ago. And it was nice because I would go out to eat with them, I would go out to certain parties with them. I'd even play games with them too. Like, you might have seen the Ready or Not video, that was with a coworker of mine. And it was a really fun experience, and we're still talking, we're still gaming together to this day, and whenever we can, we find some time to just hang around, be it on Discord or just in person. And in fact, my coworkers came to an early birthday party of mine that happened over the weekend, and I just expected them to be guests, but pretty much all of them brought gifts as well. And it was a very nice time, but again, that's for later. The fall semester, the semester that we're on right now, at the time of this video, I was starting to focus a little more. I was starting to lock in, basically. I was saying, hey, the fall semester prior was blown, but I got a good rhythm. I know what I want to do. I know what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna commit to it. At the time, I also had to worry about finances because I wasn't financially secure to pay off my tuition and have enough for myself for emergencies. So I had to go with another payment plan again, but still, that worked out just fine because I was able to pay it off by the end of October, or by the beginning of October actually, and full off, no late fees, nothing. I was both somewhat strategic and lucky that I was able to get it done. But then I start to become social to someone that I actually hold pretty close now. At least privately to myself, because this person I didn't expect to even meet or even talk to start, much like other relationships that I've had in the past with friends. And it was strange because at first it was more of an academic relationship where we would help each other to take notes, and we would be on calls every once in a while just to get some notes up to scratch, to discuss an exam that came up, the first exam of our class. It was in Civil War history too. It was kind of the strangest thing. But then it kind of blossomed to something that brought us pretty close, I would say, at least to me. I don't know how she feels about it, but it's kind of enlightening to me. And it's a little scary because I don't know to what degree she feels about this, but it's something that I really want to explore later down the line because I've only known her for one semester, technically, and when she started a call late at night and she was like, hey, we don't have to talk about school just to be on a call, you know, at that point I knew that maybe something could happen. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself because I have a bad history of doing that. But still, I really do hope that certain people stay. That along with work as well, I was promoted, and it was enlightening because I felt I was busting my ass off whenever I was at work. Sometimes more so than others. Of course, there are those shifts where you consider them fairly easy and you're literally just sitting on your ass all day, metaphorically speaking, like barely doing anything at all and just calling it a shift. But to be recognized for making it this far and going as far as I could in terms of what I was able to do per shift, along with the support from everyone else within the job, I was pretty happy that I was able to get that. And it's very helpful now because, again, the job market is very competitive and it's very difficult, even for anybody that's in high school, to get a job. And let's be fair, some people do make it difficult. There are some coworkers that are a genuine pain in the ass. Some of you might know what I mean. But in general, the workplace of mine was pretty supportive of me. And it's only fair that I get to bring that stuff back or to turn it around wherever I can, which leads to this week. And again, goes back to the birthday party. Yes, I'm 21 now, but I might have, a little woozy over that because I had to, okay? I had to for the performance. That and I'm Mexican. What do you not expect from that? You can just say that I crossed the border for that too. But it was a really fun night. I had games with my coworkers. We were all having fun. I gotta stop calling them coworkers, just call them friends. But we were just hanging out, having a blast. And of course, we had cake. And it was pretty nice because my dad made the cake. If anybody is local around the area and you know me personally, feel free to reach out because my dad's also looking for work when it comes to making cakes. So hit me up. And the cake that he made was pretty impressive for such a short notice. And like, I really thought it was cool. Everybody else thought it was cool. And it was so awesome. It was a bonfire from Dark Souls as well. Specifically, the Killing of the First Flame bonfire. Because anybody that's played the first Dark Souls knows that it's a significant bonfire narratively. But still, it was great. And it was delicious, of course. But yeah, it was a very lovely night. I was very satisfied with the way that the night went in general. And I've got a few things that I'm going to hold near and dear now. And this whole thing might sound like a very self-entitled, like, circle jerk, primarily because it is. But it's also to say that I've come very far over this past year, or at least I think that I have. I got a new car. I have new relationships that I hope stick with me. I have more people that I hope stick with me. I have a crew behind me still. And even with all the shit that's happened, including me busting my ass on my skateboard last night, even with all of that, I'm still around. And hopefully I can say that the next year, because it has been quite a journey. That, and there's also certain things that I've tackled that I'm fairly proud of, or just sticking around. In terms of creative projects, I loved doing the Future Days tribute and the Fremont's Will project that I did for Ready or Not. I think that is starting to flex the muscle a little bit in terms of what I can do creatively and also like cinematography wise, because I love doing that kind of stuff. When I was making those projects, it made me realize just how much you had to consider and also how awesome it is when it's finally realized. And also I was just sticking around with 7 Days to Die, Left 4 Dead 2, and I started a series with Ghost Recon Future Soldier. It might be a little difficult for me to do that stuff right now because again, we're at the final stretch and hopefully nothing cocks up this time, which is inevitably going to happen because it's been like this for the past couple of years. But I want to do more, of course. And I did tease a few things. I teased that I was going to talk about Icy Wyatt because I genuinely think that asshat deserves to be in prison, and apparently he's going to be released sometime soon because it's been about a year. But still, that kind of stuff I want to tackle. Maybe tackling how it's like to deal with things in the job that I'm in would be interesting. There aren't that many stories that I don't think I've talked about because a lot that could have been said, it has been said. You know, we've talked about the fire extinguisher incident. We've talked about the tornado that happened and knocked out my power, which is also a video that I quite like. But there's a lot that I can do, there's a lot that I want to do. Is it a lot that I will do? We'll see. But hopefully I can get to that point. Because even though it's very sparse for me, I love doing this kind of stuff. And it's not that I don't want to sometimes, it's that there's so many things that I gotta worry about. And I got into comics, you know, I've got a certain Daredevil run that's in my collection now. I've got a 2-volume series from Ghost Rider, and there's one that I've been starting to collect again. And there's also the Robbie Reyes collection that I've started to grab myself. I got the inaugural issues 1 through 5 of Robbie Reyes. Very awesome read. I highly recommend that one because it was so badass. And also, naturally, Mexican, Latino representation. You already know. Just note that I don't specifically look for comics simply because of representation. It's more so because of what they can offer. Still, Robbie Reyes, fucking awesome. I still need to finish the omnibus for Miguel O'Hara 2099 Spider-Man. I still need to collect Spider-Man comics myself, even though I've heard that it's kind of tipped the wire, and the One More Day comic, even though I don't have it, I'm not gonna fucking have it. It's kind of spoiled it a little bit for me in the comics, but we'll see what else can be offered here. And of course, a sincere thank you to the crew, my college friends that I have left, and my family. You know, they said it best. The less of them you have, the more one is worth. And I value every single one that not only do I talk to on a daily, but even the people that have visited me during the party. Because it's always nice to know that you're not alone with this kind of stuff, and that you have people behind your back. Not people behind your back, but people beside you. Because there's a certain philosophy that I have about people that are behind you, people that are beside you, and people that are in front of you. Also, Scorpio season. Let's keep those Scorpios alive, man. But yeah, that's about it. Hopefully the next year can do a lot more for me. Hopefully I can work on more stuff, because there's a few goals that I have. One, obviously, getting through college. I am in somewhat of a questionable pace right now because there are certain things that have slowed me down academically, but I hope I can push through. Second, I want to start doing some Maya stuff because I realized that there are certain things that I want to realize, at least in the digital space. So I might do some stuff like maybe model the Bloodborne weapons, because I got the Bloodborne guide myself last week. Very awesome to have. There are certain Ghost Rider vehicles that I want to do, maybe even weapons, because it's been stereotypical by one of my college professors, but firearms are pretty generic to do because of how complex they are and how generally streamlined they look. So might try that, and I might actually want to get into some streaming, but we'll see. Why streaming? Because obviously there's a decent amount of free time that one can have, and to have a live audience, have an active interaction, and plus it also leads into the other goals that I want to have, which is a stronger rig. First part, I can either go ahead and just buy a second monitor and a dual monitor stand so that I can have more space for my workload, and the second part is having a stronger CPU, a different motherboard, and a different case, because I do want to eventually upgrade. I want to switch from Intel to AMD, and I want to make sure that my rig is not only stronger but also capable, which seems synonymous and seems like a very no shit kind of deal, but still, I want to ensure that this thing is going to last me a long time. That and another NVMe slot so I can have another SSD. Yes, I know that SATA drives exist, but I'm not going to fuck with that yet. Well, maybe, I don't know. And of course, certain emulation stuff that I want to try, because Bloodborne emulation's looking pretty hot right now. And there's also a bunch of modding that I want to do with certain games, maybe Elden Ring. And also trying out Dark Souls on the remastered mod that FromSoftServe made, which is also the biggest incentive for me to return to Dark Souls and have it on Steam. Because I think having a playthrough on here, like live streaming it, would be pretty cool. But we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, big plans, big ambitions. But also, I have to balance my life between nurturing it and also enjoying it. So, we'll just see how it goes. And here's another year. Y'all take care of yourselves, and good luck with what you've got on your plate.